let's start. So actually I have created a project. The project is completely a microservices project, and it is what it was having, as I last time said, it is having a small issue with the building. But however, I have been done developing it, and we can say live application into the Kubernetes by using all whatever the services we have been used. Okay, I have already created 2 node cluster, EKS cluster, and I do have a master which is control plane itself only. Okay, so this is my cluster. Node 1 and node 2, and this is EKS cluster completely. So I am authenticating from my laptop by using EKS CTL. To this by using kubeconfig. Kubeconfig. Okay, so this is what I have run commands, and kubectl get nodes. I could able to see my nodes are already created, and I want to update kubeconfig as well for latest context cluster authentication. So when I do this command, this one, AWS EKS update kubeconfig -hyphen name EKS demo region AP South 1A. So this is going to update to my cluster. You can see this is in this path. Okay, in this path. If I go to the same directory, users, and I could able to see dot cube. Inside this I have config. If I open with the notepad, I could able to see, so this is my kubeconfig. So since I am updating many times, so it is creating multiple keys here. So because of this, I'm able to communicate with my cluster here, that is kubeconfig. The information will be here. Okay, so if I see kubectl get pods, there are no pods actually. So I want to deploy an application. If you go to my repositories, and you should able to see one repository, online boutique website project. So this project is completely developed with microservices. Okay, so the architecture of this project is like this. It is using 11 microservices. So each service is a microservice, and uh, we have written all service deployment and as well as ingress. So about all the services, I have been enclosed into this file, which is kubernetes manifest.yml. Okay, so this file, about each and every service. So there will be a deployment file, service file, and ingress file, and pods. Okay. So if you can see deployment for email service, and now it is checkout service, and exposing with the cluster IP. Email service also exposing with the cluster IP, and deployment of recommendation service, and it will be also cluster IP service. And if you come front end, this will be a load balancer. Front end should be a load balancer. If you come down, you could able to see a load balancer, and then after ingress. So this ingress controller is a networking point of view. It do a path based routing. Okay. So kind ingress, metadata front end ingress, and this is my DNS, rajnishshop.zapto.org. So with this DNS, I should able to see my complete application with all microservices. Okay. So with all microservices means, so this is my DNS, which is rajnishshop.zapto.org. So after this, there will be a load balancer, load balancer. So with this load balancer, I'm exposing. So then, which service I'm exposing? I'm exposing the front end page, which is front end service. The everything is show to you, products, service, all your names, items. Okay. So everything will be in the UI, right? So that is front end. And then I have different services. So front end is one service. Then under that I have 10 microservices again. So let's say example, I have email service, and I have recommendation service, and I have cart service, and I have order service, and I have payment service, and I have product service, and I have Redis service, database. Okay. Now if you can see like this, just let's take few only here, like cart, order, and email. Okay. So basically whenever we log into the any shopping website, so the front end will be like www.xyz.com, and your application will be open to you, right? First communication I need to configure like this. When a user comes and hit the DNS, it has to communicate with the load balancer, and the load balancer will be the front end. So whenever the candidate is clicking on any of the one option, it has to do a path based routing. It has to do a path based routing with my DNS. If we clicked on some cart, it has to be update like this, /cart, www dot like this /cart. After the cart, if we went to payment, it has to be like this, payments. Okay. So according to the navigation, it has to be do a path based routing. So how come I'm achieving that? By using ingress controller. On each service, there will be ingress controller is applied. Okay, because of that I'm able to. So this front end, by using ingress controller, it will forward here. Okay, let me take this type as, it will forward here, and it will forward here, and it will forward here. On your path, how the path is there, based upon that it will going to communicate on each of the service. Okay, it is like this. And if I go to my repository and all your payment service, okay, payment service cluster IP, yeah, one more thing. So every service is this service, this service, this service, except the front end. Everything is exposing through the cluster IP. It is load balancer. So we won't use node port. We use load balancer, and everything is cluster IP. I already said cluster IP for the internal communication, and we'll use what we'll use. We'll use ingress controller. So every service is using cluster IP. So this cluster IP, we are forwarding the ingress to open this. Okay. So the original diagrams, which by using same is written. Okay. When a user do HTTPS, and there will be a load generator service which generate the load and communicate with the each ad service, recommendation service, product catalog, cart, shipping, currency, payment, email. Okay, it will do a path based routing at your front end only itself by using ingress. Okay, so each service is going to communicate with the other service. So this is completely a microservices architecture. We just deploying the microservices, and I have enclosed everything into the one file. Uh, okay, but there's a small challenge. If we want to deploy this as an individual repositories for each service, let's say load generator, checkout, payment, email, currency, for each of this I need to write a separate repository, separate pipeline, separate image building, separate deployment. Okay, it will be very big process. Instead of that, already generated the images and I kept into the one common file, and that we have to deploy as a one go. Okay, so there's one more thing I'm trying to do, which is, am I audible now? Okay, so I'm trying to do one thing now, which is pushing with the git app actions completely and updating the latest files into each and individual repositories. Okay, so I'll just give you that in the end of one individual repositories at combiningly deploying it one Kubernetes cluster. But now to do that, you have to understand now this each service I enclosed in one file, and we are going to deploy it as a one go. Now, so what I'll do, I will be going to import this into my local. So let me come here, pwd, I'm into download, git clone, copy this URL and come here and do it. It was done now. cd online boutique website pwd. I have files of these files. Okay, and now, so this is my file. In this file I have updated all the services. kubectl get pods. I'm not having any pods right now, no services, nothing. So if you see with all, you will not get anything in, except the cluster, which is the default cluster IP. Okay, so nothing I'm not having here. So I will be going to apply this. All 11 microservices are going to be updated here. It's going to be deployed. Okay, so now what I'll do, kubectl apply -f kubernetes dot manifest dot yml. So each service is going to be deployed right now. If I give kubectl get all, okay, so my replica set has been created, deployments also created, and my services also created. You can see all are load balancer, and my pods are creating the containers now. It's creating containers now, not yet ready. So what I'll do, I'll keep it in a watch mode. kubectl all get watch mode. Okay, pods watch mode. One by one means it's up and ready. If you see 0 by 1 means it is not up and ready. Still add service is not up and ready. Other services are up and ready. Okay, now you can see add service also up and ready in the last. Add service, cart service, checkout service, currency service, email service, front end service, payment service, product catalog service, recommendation service, Redis cart, the cart data into the Redis, shipping service, and the add service is above one only. Okay, so these 11 microservices are working for my one website. Okay, so let me give now with a fresh kubectl pods. Okay, all pods are up and running right now. I just want to see kubectl get all. So when I see kubectl get all, and these are the services, all services are exposed with the cluster IP. You can see all services are exposed with the cluster IP, but front end is exposed with the load balancer. This is my load balancer. Okay, we are doing ingress. This is my load balancer now. So what I need to do, if I see ingress as well, get ingress. So this is my DNS now. Okay, so what I will be doing by using this load balancer, I will be configure DNS dynamic setting or dynamic mapping, and let's see. So let me go to my account. DNS. You can go to this site my.noip.com for dynamic DNS. Log into it. Okay. So once you have logged into it, on the left side you can see dynamic DNS, and you have to go to no IP host names. In your case, it will give you an option to create here, create an host name. I have already created rajni.shop.zap.org. So here I need to add. So while you're creating host name, you need to select CNAME record. Okay, it's only giving me one. You have to use CNAME record. CNAME record will be a dynamic thing which will help you to distribute. Now since I'm having this, I will be going to modify this. You can see CNAME type. Okay, modify. So here is my load balancer ID. So what I'll do, you can just come and copy the load balancer and open this, update it, update the hostname. So to update and read and write the things, it is going to take at least few minutes. So meanwhile, let me browse my DNS. This is my DNS, right? Yes, I will be going to browse it. It's not coming. Wait for it until the DNS configuration is updated. Let this update. AF7D3. Is it the same? AF3D. Yes. Let this map and load. Let me ping this. Check the name and try again. Let this load. Wait for 2 minutes. I shouldn't copied any space. I did not copied any space. Fine. Let's wait for it. is active. Do I need to confirm my free host name? Renew. No, it's active only. It has to load. If you see with the load balancer, it will come. So if I paste the load balancer, it opened. So let this read until the map is happen. Is the limit is over or what? So it's not loading it. Wait until it has to read. It will be. It is going to take some time, at least 3 minutes. Oh, we're taking a lot of time. It's just a free trial. It is done or what? 8:15. No, it has to come. If I see ns lookup, what I'll do, ns lookup www dot org.com, sorry, org. I should able to see. Oh, DNS is not mapping. Fine. So when DNS is not mapping, what we can do, just come here and that's how it is taking this one. What I will do, cancel this. Let me delete this DNS. Trying to. Where's delete option? Delete option. Delete option. Okay, let's create one more account and then we'll create the new DNS and we'll see. So I'm going to take this one, new. It is created an account here. Now I'll go to no IP host names. I'll create a host name. Now I'll say like Rajni Ops. Okay, let this will be a CNAME DNS alias. So I should give. Let's take any domain like um, goddns.ch or ddds.net. These are all sub things. So you can go with any of the one. So like to take good one. Okay, let's go with the first one itself only, that zapto.org, and here I will be update my DNS. No space, should not copy. And now let me come. It's worked with the direct load balancer, Sudhanshu, but we will not do a regular basis. It's not recommended directly with the load balancer DNS, right? So we have to do a record map with the DNS. Create host name. It is created rajniops.jepto. So what I'll do, I'll come here and I'll first undeploy this all, delete this all and redeploy. But while we redeploying, we need to change the ingress name If I'll check kubectl get pods, no pods. Oh, yes, kubectl get pods or get all, nothing we should have. Yes. So what I'll do, I'll open a VS Code. I'll open a new window. I'll open a file. I'll open a folder. I'll go to my downloads here. So this is my project, right? Before that, let's see pwd downloads, this one. Okay, file, open folder, downloads, my folder, select folder. It's open. If I open my Kubernetes manifest file, so I have this. So what I need to do, I need to come to my DNS. So this is my DNS. Copy this DNS, copy this DNS and press Ctrl H. Okay, it came and replace with the new DNS here. So which is my new DNS? My new DNS name is this one. Copy it and replace here. Place, and what you have to do, we have to do enter. So here 1 of 8 is it found, 8 it has to change. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, and now if you can see everywhere it is going to be changed as rajniops.zepto.org. Okay, it got changed. Now what I'll do, I'll going to save this, save, and let me run the same command again. kubectl apply kubernetes manifest.yml. Let's wait until everything should be created. If I give get all pods should be available. Now few pods are not yet available. Almost all. Cart and ad services not available. Now add service. Now everything is available. So let me come to my DNS. Okay, this is my DNS, right? Now I'm copying this, I'm pasting here. Okay, wait for it, wait for it. It will take some time because load balancer and DNS should be mapped. This is new account. What is this strange behavior again? It's looking for HTTP only. If I give S, I should able to see this one is a resolving of my IP address and nest lookup. Nest lookup is not fine. You cannot find a nest lookup non-existent domain. So here I need to copy my DNS. Non-existent domain. When I give my load balancer, get all, AF413. Oh, this is the new load balancer, but I have updated the old one over there. Modify the configuration, modify, update the host name, come here and refresh. AF411, AF411, refresh, refresh, refresh. Yes, now it got loaded. If you can see rajniops.zepto.org. Now I am into my application. Yes, after I created a new thing, I deleted and applied, right, Rohit? It was created a new load balancer. Okay. So now if you can see, this is my site right now, and I can change your currency type, which is your USD or Japanese Canadian. Okay, like this. So you can go with the USD and whatever the product you want right now. Let's say I want sunglasses. So this is my product now. How many item count you want? I want 3 counts for example, and I'm going to add to cart. Right side you can see nothing is there, but when I came to this product, how it is showing rajni.org product slash, okay, and add to cart. See, it came to cart. Now I'm at cart now, and you can update your things, your mail ID like XYZ. You can give your mail ID and gmail.com, and you can give your addresses, the okay, and the things and your card. So there is no Stripe API payment gateway is not integrated, so you no need to worry, nothing will be going to be detected. It's just a small normal code. It's just a service card, okay. And I want to place an order. These are the recommendations. Since you are selecting this one, these are the recommendations for you to buy. So in Flipkart also we are getting recommendations, right, on the above product. So like this, if I place the order got placed. Continue shopping. You can see again it came back to the original DNS. If again I go, again you have a product ID and products, and add to cart. You have a cart and place orders, cart checkout. You can see continue shopping. if you provide here slash cart, it will directly redirect to your cart. If you provide checkout, it has to take you to checkout. If it is not read, it will be going to give you 404 error. Means it is not reading properly from this. If I give what orders, right? Previously we have checked continue shopping. Yeah. Cart, select product and product ID. If I'm not having an ID, so without ID, it is giving you 404 error. Okay. So service is communicating with your path based routing. Path based routing. All your parts are running right now here. All your parts. All are exposed at cluster IP. By using load balancer, you are communicating because the ingress is configured. Okay. So this is how the path based, and this is you have integrated with the DNS. If not, sometimes you can just take this one as well and come here and give it, be able to get the public IP address. So this public IP address you can also integrate. Okay, for example, if I come and give this IP address, so this IP address is just an IP address which is again forwarding to my application only, say without port number and nothing. So this is how it is mapped with the DNS. So when you only want to map without a load balancer, you want to only map an IP address, you can go with the A record. Okay. Is this clear? Like now you are able to understand, right, how all individual parts are communicating as a one application. Yes. Yeah, you can. Sorry, can you repeat again? I just changed the settings of speaker. Hmm. GRPC. GRPC. Google GRPC. Yes. So, if you go to my one and if you go to here, so that's what I'm doing to do automatic pushing. So this is the project which I have already a code which I took in each of the repository. Okay. So here in SRC, each service is a add service, is a repository. Card service is a repository. Checkout service is a repository. Currency service is a repository. Email service is a repository. Front end is a repository. If I go to here, here I will be having again a Docker file. This Docker file, it is going to be created as a container. So this is I'm going to generate as an image, Docker image. So this image I was trying to do with the actions, and I'm pushing to Docker Hub, and there is an error, this error. That's why I'm still automating in a more advanced way, that from the we can also implement the other things as well, like Argo CD and all, and the same project. So in that perception I'm automating the things. So what happening here, So the Docker images which are automatically creating from my repositories and uploading into the Docker Hub. If I come to my Docker Hub, with GitHub Actions, I told you right, with GitHub Actions I am doing. That's what I'll tell you. Still the things are there. See, these are all an hour ago. Still, I have tried actually. All these images are the services: product catalog service, recommendation service, shipping service, okay, load generator service, front end service, email service, currency service. So automatically I'm pushing here, but the thing is it has to update into my manifesto. Again, back to the manifesto, image update, then it has to commit and it has to push the changes itself in the local repository, and then my GitHub should be connected with my EKS cluster. That's what I am writing here, a code. Yes, what it will happen, yes, what it will happen, it is go to the code first, my action. What it will do, so it is going to src, it will go to src and it will check out to each service. In each service it is going to find out a docker file and it will create a docker image in this format: v12085, v12085. Whatever the build number means, how many things are ran, the number is going to change and the unique name is this one. So this v1, this name, whenever the build runs, this number is going to change and this is going to be latest digest. No, 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 no. I'll just listen what I'm telling. Just it is going to create by using a small shell script. Okay, this is going to find the file and then it will create automatically with the number and it will push here into my Docker Hub. Okay, so after it is pushing the same image which is present at the GitHub, it has to update into my manifesto file. So actually, if you're not get this time, let me complete this, then you'll get a very good clarity while I explain. So in each of the service, give me 2 minutes, I'll tell you. Give me 2 minutes. In each service, it will look for the Docker file and it will build the image with a unique tag ID and it will push to my Docker Hub. And then what it will do, it will come to my manifesto and it will find each of the service again, and here it has to do some changes. Okay, so this was I independently was developed and I pushed into one more repository. That repository now I deployed, but automatic changes, it is not writing inside this file. That is the problem which I am facing the issue here. Okay, so this is a setup completely. It is set up the job, check out the code, it will build the Docker images, and it will log into my Docker Hub and it will push the every Docker image into my uh, Docker Hub. Okay, every Docker image, it will build it here and it will push. Then after, it will configure my AWS credentials and it will authenticate with my cluster, and then it is going to deploy the EKS manifesto with the latest image which I have uploaded into my Docker Hub. That's what the problem here. If it is done, then it is going to deploy into the EKS and then it will do commit here. It will commit it, permanent commit here itself in the repository. After committing, so your latest changes will be committed with your unique commit ID always, and you will be having a backup of the Docker image into your Docker Hub. So if this process is automated perfectly, then we could integrate some more like Argo CD and other things. That's what this repository is. So since this repository is giving these issues, so I individually developed every Docker repository into a Docker image, and that image I'm pulling into this repository where it is online boutique. So here these are all pulled here. Okay, if you open this one, so it is my into my GCP hub I have uploaded. Let me show. Here are the images. Okay, so I thought to create a GKE cluster and to show you, but from the starting onwards we are habituated to EKS, so again I have created EKS and I'm showing you this. So once this ready, it will get and understand how this is happening. Is it clear now? Hmm. 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 Okay. For example, SRC is there. This is the code. Add service is there. Okay. So this add is written in C and Go and Gradle. You can see. So now this is the main code, SRC main. Whatever the code you have written in the Java. Okay. So this is the code you have written. So this code, what you want to do, we already discussed Docker, right? My code has to be convert into a Docker file. First of all, my code has to be let me come to this. Let me open SRC. Yeah, if I open add service, so here I have a Docker file. So whatever the code you are writing the Docker file, like how from it is taking the base image as a builder and you're keeping and you're generating the things and you're converting it as a one binary package in format of Docker image. That is what you have to do first. That is the first step. Leave about the Kubernetes. Forget about the Kubernetes. If I want to deploy, if I want to do a containerization of a microservice, my code should able to convert into a Docker image successfully. First thing, building and converting. Once it is converted and builded my Docker image, that has to successfully run as a container inside your Docker. That is the first check you need to check. Okay. So once the container, for example, you might have a question. If it is a front end, you could able to see the UI, but what about the backend? Backend will not show you anything on the web. Okay. So backend you can check with the API, sorry, Postman or other things. You can integrate and you can check with that. And backend should also able to run as a successful container, and you should not able to see any logs on the container. When you're not able to see any logs on the container, that means it is perfectly running without even going to the Postman or Swagger. So no logs on the container, this means yes, it's absolutely 90% working fine. Okay, once It no generic logs also, it will not generate anything if your container not holding any of the errors. Okay, so that is the first check. Yes, now yes, it is able to create an image and it is able to run as a container. That's it. So this is our first part we need to check. Let me tell you here. This is my code. Then I should able to have the Docker file here. So this Docker file able to convert into a Docker image, and from this Docker image it has to run as a container. Any code, any microservice, if you're taking monolithic, total monolithic repository, this is repo, code repo. If it is a monolithic, total repo you have to do the same process. If it is a microservices, each service repo you have to do this process at Docker point of view. Okay, so Docker runtime has to create the container and that has to be successful. If this is your first check you need to do. And now, yes, container is working fine. Let's say you have 10 microservices. Yes, create the same 10 microservices container, run all this container under one network. Simple. Everything is going to communicate. But communicating is one more thing. Let's say you have a code repo here of the uh, front end to some other, like you said, authing to one service to another service. So it's developer thing that he has to, which auth he need to use, gRPC or other things, which auth he has to use to communicate one service to another service. So he will be using, and he will say he will write the endpoints to auth. From this code it has to go to cart, or from this code it has to go to orders, or from this code it has to go to payment. So he will be writing the endpoints here, right? So this endpoints, if you run it as a container, we should able to update the IP address or something. But yes, developer is already written one service to listen to another service things in the code base. And each repository, as a DevOps engineer, my only responsibility is I don't care about this thing, because developer will write everything in the code. But now what I'll do, so this repository is there, I'll convert it as a Docker image, I'll run it as a container. It's running, no logs, nothing. Okay, fine. And developer will check that it is giving the same body or not, the body what he's expecting in the JSON format. If it is not giving, it is an error. So since we are using Kubernetes, we will be not going to do this container thing here, right? So after my Docker image is available, what I need to do, now I'm removing this container. I'll be going to write one manifest file. Okay, so here in this manifest file, what I'll do, I'll say kind deployment. Kind deployment. Okay, and here I replica, labels, all the things I'll going to define. We already discussed label things and all. And at container spec, what I'll do, image is equal to the Docker image which I have created, this image name, let's say this is XYZ. So this image I need to update here. I need to update here. So for this deployment, I need to also write service, SVC. So this service should be able to match with the labels which I given above. Okay, then once this SVC labels matched, then I'll say expose is on load balancer. If it is a front end thing, you have to say load balancer. If it is a back end and other services which you don't want to expose directly, use cluster IP. Okay, so SVC deployment. So in this what happens, it is going to create the pod it is going to create the replica set, it is going to create the service, right? We know already under deployment we have a replica set, right? And as well as service, and it will create a one pod because it is a image xyz, it is going to create a pod. So once all this done, we are going to tell an ingress again. So what ingress? Ingress is again, I'll say kind ingress and host name is equal to www.something.com xyz, and then what I'll tell here, when www.something.com came, you should forward path prefix to something, which one, my deployment, this one. So this service is like the front end service, let's say. Same way, with same DNS, I'll write for every service: email service, cart service, order service. Yes, yes. Yeah. So like this it will be. Oh, that's what the same thing is here as well. Where is this? Yeah, you can see now. So deployment, shipping service, labels, spec, and if you come down, you have a service cluster IP. It has to match the labels. You can see ship service labels, and then ingress, shipping service ingress. This is a host name, the spec rule. When this is done, slash shipping, if it is coming from the front end point of view, yes, go to the shipping service. Yeah. No, Helm is having some things. I need to set the charts again. So the one more class we need still, because Helm is also important thing. Once you understand this, deploy this, and we'll discuss the Helm. Helm is nothing. Here I need to create a chart.yml. Again I have to define something, chart name and chart zip ID, and then I need to apply this Helm file. So I'll tell you Helm things. It's a very simplified manner. Helm. See, if you want to understand Helm, I just left with 9:45. I have to left. Let me take. We have here itself only, right? So where am I? I'll be open my terminal. I'm in this path, right? So there's nothing is there. What I'll do, already Helm is installed in my system. We need to install Helm version. If you say Helm is already installed, so what I need to do, I need to, actually Helm is a Kubernetes package manager. I have written all this manifest file, right? So by using Helm, I no need to create anything. If you see under boutique website project, there is no folder is not there. So whatever the folder I'm going to create now, that is my project. So what I'll do, Helm create, and I'll going to give my name, my app, for example. That's it. It's created my app. In the left side you can see it is created my app. That's I just created. If I expand this, I have charts, I have template, I have chart.yml, and I have values.yml. If you go to templates and you have deployment.yml, hpi.yml, ingress.yml, service.yml, everything is came here. And if you open deployment.yml, the code is like this: API service, deployment, metadata, labels, spec, replica, selectors, deployment. These are all are soft coded, means it is looking, yes, it is looking for some file. Which file it is looking for? You can see it is specifically looking for dot values. Inside the dot values there will be image and there will be a repository. So where is the values? Where is the values? Here is the values. If I go to values, I need to change the values here. That's it. How what is the image name? Okay, let's say front end. What I'll do, I'll go to my Docker hub. Where is the front end? Front end. Okay, I'll copy this. I'll paste it. Okay, if the this image is present here, it will be going to build. If not, it is going to, oh, we need to tag this tag I need to provide here. After colon, it is a tag. In this I need to provide the tag. Okay, and then image pool policy, pod annotations, pod securities, service. Which service you want? I want load balancer service, not cluster IP. So I couldn't able to do, right? Couldn't able to expose load balancer. Okay, and ingress host. So which is your thing? You can just write it down, all this auto scaling, node scaler, all. I just change the values here and I'm going to save this file. Okay, and at what I'll say, helm install release name. Release name means my site. I'll say my site. And what is my app? My app is the my folder, right? My app. That's it. I did enter my release name and my helm chart name. Now it is telling that it was my site got deployed and this is your thing. Okay, and it is telling that. Now what else do? I'll come here into my CLI, kubectl get pods or all, I'll say. Okay, kubectl. When I say all, I need to able to see one more load balancer, which is my site, my app. Okay, I'll take this load balancer. I'll come here. Oh, is it not happening? Okay, fine. If it is not happening, this image is not able to build properly, might be. I'll come here and I'll go into change into Nginx. Image should be proper. This tag ID I think I have given wrong. I should give before only, might be tags. Nothing. Let me save this. So now what I'll do, I'll upgrade this. Not install, I'll upgrade. Yes, now it is upgrading. You can see it's upgraded. Now if I come, if I see, I should be able to see get all. Get all, this one, welcome to Nginx. So for each repository you have to write a for example add service. You have to write this. So you no need to write manifest files. Add service, you just need to give inside the add service repository add service help. That's it. Everything will be going to create here. What do you need to do? You have to come to values.yml You have to change your image values and pod values and replica values. That's it. Every yes, yes, every service repository you need to do this. Okay, this is more simplified manner, and I want to teach you this with Argo CD. Okay, don't worry. I hope at least all of you got this project thing which we done through the DNS. Please give me confirmation. Okay, 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 okay. Unmute option. Now you can unmute yourself. Hmm, hmm. Okay, when this DNS is created, just try to do a NS lookup. Does it resolving with an IP address? If not, then that means there is a problem with the DNS creation or mapping. Not like that. If you are doing a front end at Node, there will be a 5000 and 3000 port numbers, right? Like different port numbers. How come? Okay. That okay. You have developed the application of static application. Okay, start. No, no, no. While you are exposing your static application, what is how you are writing a single solution Docker file, means single stage or multi-stage? Multi-stage should be the second stage should be Nginx. Inside the Nginx, it has to update the thing. Means in USR share slash Nginx slash HTML. There your whole static content should be copied. So that should be a final image ID. That image is basically runs on default port number 80. Okay, so in your manifesto file you have to give 80 port number, and you want to expose with the load balancer, then do it with the load balancer. That time it can be mapped port number and DNS, load balancer DNS. It can be read. I don't know why Jenkins is not loaded. Jenkins is 8080, right? So when you give here 8080, 8080 port number, then might be uh, it's doing a round robin. Okay, I think load balancer is doing a round robin. When load balancer is doing a round robin, it is trying to find one more replica. Do it a replica of two, creating a pod, the two replicas, not one pod. Jenkins, hmm, which one? Servers.yml. No, no, no. If it is going to pending state, use limits. Configure limits. Say that CPU should be a one core, like 1M, and then request memory also. Set my memory as 1 GB, like this. You can set the limit inside the manifest file, and here you can say same thing. So whenever you have the high peak, it will be going to run in the requested resource constraints, and whenever you have high peak, it will going to occupy this as well limit. Try to implement this into the manifesto, this manifesto, like this. I think here also I have written might be. See, okay. No, $48 only. No, that's not a big amount. And why you are worrying about it? If it is a $48 also, what? No, don't pay it. You are not used credit card, right? 4,000 only. That's it. So my like previous accounts was got a bill around 15,000, 20,000. Okay, they won't do anything. They'll just block. When they block, leave it. Forget about that account and create a new account. That's it. Okay, fine then. I'll just, and this is, I have not created this EKS cluster in your account. In morning student account, I have created this. Fine. So just try this. Go and clone my repository and just apply from your CLI and make it happen. I'll tell you in the last how you can add with other things as well. Let's do a development on the same project. I was developing one more two projects actually. At last, while I'm deploying at December, November, the last patches, they're successful. But now again it's creating a problems. That's what last Saturday I have updated you with. That is also one more shopping kind of application only. It is having some backend connectivity issues. That's how it is not working. The containers are backing off. Let me try, and I have to leave now. I have one more call in 3 minutes. Just please do this practice, okay?